Hello guys, Joyk here. Welcome to Dark Souls 2 Scholars of the First Sin. This is, well, not a really relatively old game, but it's still a good entry in the Dark Souls franchise. And I really like to play it before Dark Souls 3 hits. And now you're asking, why don't you play Dark Souls 1 first? Well, I follow quite a few YouTubers also who do Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 playthroughs, and I currently don't have an Xbox Series 60 anymore, which I owned Dark Souls 1 on, but I do have Dark Souls 2, the Scholar of the First Sin edition. And I'm quite interested always in the lore, not very intensely, but now Epic Nimbro is finishing up his final playthrough of Dark Souls 1 with all the lore bits. And I decided to dive back into the feeling of Dark Souls 2. So, just because I like playing the game, and yeah, all the DLC are also included. So let's first watch the cutscene.
You've seen it, maybe in a dream, a murky, forgotten land. A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded, the symbol of the curse, an augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang Lake. Perhaps you're familiar? No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why. Like a moth drawn to a flame, your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate, the fate of the cursed.
Well, here we are again. Of course, as a phantom. And this is, like I'm saying, this is also online, of course. And it's been quite a while since I played the game. But like I said before, the lore from Dark Souls 1 is quite clear in some manner, actually. There are a couple of really facts that we know, like with Gwyn and the First Flame, and heading to Dark Souls 3, which I don't want to gather too much information about. But in this game, the lore is a little bit stranger because of the absence of Miyazaki, which is just also a kind of a fact. The game is not worse or better than Dark Souls 1, but it's different. And that's really all you have to say about it. It's different. And this is the hub area of the first Dark Souls 2 area. And it has to be said, like, Dark Souls is always messing around with the timeline. People playing co-op, they are coming from all different time zones and worlds. So with the cutscene before, it seems like you are going through a portal to Dragon Lake. And while playing, I will try to add as much as I can from the lore. I don't know if they will pick up anything from Dark Souls 1 or 2 even. It seems to be likely that they will pick up from Dark Souls 1 more because of Miyazaki's storytelling, and that he will pick up. And there were the continuation of the Age of Fire. Like in Dark Souls 1, the flame is already dying and you rekindle it or you don't. And in this game you do it also, but here it's more noticeable that the fire is really dying out and it's only a temporary solution. And from the trailers in Dark Souls 3, the Age of Fire is coming to an end. Well, let's first check out a couple of hidden items that we picked up first. This is a rusted coin, an old rusted coin. Crushing the coin temporarily boosts the lucks, so that's for item find. This rusted coin gives you that little extra bit of luck, making items and the like easier to find. The coin is engraved with the image of a god that was worshipped in ancient times, but no one knows its true origins. The Bone of Order, which is an online play item. I can be invaded. I usually like to walk around in human form, and I'm not the best player, so that will be fun. This is small, smooth and silky stone. Uses to slightly restore speed. The shine of the stones is no ordinary polish, and can only be achieved from a long period. Some in this land are in search of such stones, which is quite a hint that you shouldn't use it as a healing item. But just like with Bloodborne, which is just another point I want to bring up, you have Dark Souls 1, which was a fantastic game. It was my first game also in the Souls franchise. I didn't play Demon Souls until after. Then you have Dark Souls 2, which many people like for the PvP but dislike for the PvE, so the single player portion of the game. And the lore is a bit obscured, but I have to say that Dark Souls is more of a game that resides on gameplay than on lore. The story is there if you want it, not if you need it. But come on, every game, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3 will be a cultivation of all those games. So Dark Souls 2 isn't a bad game, and hopefully I will show you that.
What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you? You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes, you'll become one of them. Hollows prey upon men.
feast upon their souls. This is the fate of the cursed.
What is your name?
So here we are thrown into the customization options. And so this is a kind of a dilemma I have. I usually play only as a knight. I avoid magic altogether. But I like to make a little bit of a hybrid. So I'll just call myself like I always do. Just a simple name. Yes.
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Take a closer look.
Who do you think it's supposed to be?
Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
And here you go deeper into the customization. Like I said, I always play with a knight or a sword or well, the warrior or the knight. But this shield is kind of crap, even though it looks kind of good. So I always pick a knight because of the starting stats, which you can see at the bottom right. I explain kind of everything. You never know if people watch this for the first time. It does keep on happening, even with bigger YouTubers. So yeah, I was intending to build a little bit of hybrid, just to get a little bit of faith, get a little bit of magic. And I'm looking at what does that the best, which is kind of this one. It has a higher faith. And maybe we could level up faith so we can use the sunlight blade and the throwing of lightning spears, just for a little bit of variety. So I'll just pick my normal starting class. So here we have a little items. We have a light ring, which increases your HP slightly, but you can get this pretty easily at first. And human effigy isn't that useful either. Healing wares, well, if you're having trouble at the start and you want to be safe. A homeward bone isn't that useful. A seed of a tree of giants is an online item. If you use this item, all enemies become hostile to your invader. This is to set areas in New Game Plus, which isn't that useful either, and I always pick the petrified, something which you can trade in. I will show that off in a little bit. Then I'm playing with a male. I'm playing with, well, just a normal guy, and I'm muscular because I'm a knight. And then the face, yeah, I always pick this one. The Souls series, even with Bloodborne, is notorious for their character designs. They aren't very good, but I always like the mohawk. So I'm going a little bit familiar with this, and I always like the white hair, and then a little bit of casual beard, and we'll do the beard black, like this. And then we switch to my own eye color, which is light blue, which looks a little bit unrealistic if you pick this one. So we'll pick this one and then go to the sliders. This color is pretty good. No tattoos, which are a fun addition if they expand upon it even further in the next one. I'm not gonna do anything weird. I always like my characters kind of cool, so this is it. This is my easy to go character, knight character with a broadsword.
All people come here for the same reason. To break the curse.
You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
Well, they do have a lot of faith in you, don't they? And these ladies are fire keepers, which uphold the activation of the bonfires. There's a chest up here, of course, so as you can see, and it holds a human effigy, so you can pick one up relatively early. And let's speak with her for a bit.
This is a limbo. A link between Drangleic and the outer world. Fair traveller, I know that you must have a story. Why else would you visit such a place? This lost, decayed kingdom. My name is Millibeth. The old women were once fire keepers. I am here to look after them. It is what my mother did, and her mother before her, and so on. The old women were keepers of the fire. But now, the fire shows signs of fading, and the kingdom is beset by hollows.
Like she said, the fire is fading, and these ladies were, or are, firekeepers. And we are an undead, and an undead means that you can die, but that you will return to life. But if you die too much and you lose your souls, you become hollow, and then you become an enemy. And you will lose your, relatively your real soul. You will lose your sanity and become evil. And undead are drawn here to this portal, to this world, to this little place called Things Betwixt, just to break the undead curse and heal the hollowing. So here's an optional enemy. You can see by the footprints, and you can ignore this guy completely. I will try to kill him, but it's been a while, so maybe I won't be able to, but we can try. You have to stand behind him and then bait him in that attack, and then hit him twice, and then do it again. And that's the strategy to kill him. You can even hit him 3 times, but now it becomes quite dangerous, so just reset him for a little bit. Because he always points his butt to the other way, but he is cooperating with me this time. So you get a nice 3,000 souls on the bottom right, which is your experience. If you die, they will drop at the point or the nearest point from which you died, and you can pick them up there. And if you die again before you pick them up, you lose them forever, like she said. And we pick up our first item here. This is our inventory. We can have 3 weapons in our right hand, 3 shields or bows or other weapons in our left hand. This is our inventory. And we can equip 4 rings in Dark Souls 2. This is the stone ring, which we picked up from the little golem. The beloved ring of the gallant shieldless Lothian. formerly of Forosa. Hits greatly reduce enemy poise. The effect may seem trivial, but for those who comprehend how critical it is to exploit a hole in an enemy's defense, the significance of this ring will be clear. So if you equip this ring and you hit someone, which is particularly useful actually for PvP, you have a defense stat on you, which is called poise. And if that poise is broken, you kind of stumble and you can break to someone's defense. Here is our item bar. We got some life gems, which will, if you use them, they will heal you over time. But we picked up this. The gold pine resin. A rare pine resin with a gold flint applies lightning to the right hand weapon. The affected weapon inflicts lightning damage for a short time, particularly effective against foes who are resistant to magic and fire. So it's a short buff to my right hand weapon. And this broadsword can be buffed. Not all weapons can. So now we did the little optional quest and we can move along for now. And they pointed us through the door, and here is our first checkpoint, which is a bonfire. And these are your saving grace in the whole Dark Souls series. You can rest here, attune spells, burn, enter your item box, which you can drop items if you don't want them. And you can't level up in Dark Souls 2 at the bonfire, which is reserved for another person, which will we meet in a little bit. Let's check these items. A soul item, soul of a lost undead who has long ago gone hollow, used to acquire souls. The soul is the source of all life, and even in undeath or hollowing, the mind seeks souls. It's a little consumable item, and this one uses gives you 200 souls. And we picked up a torch, and the torch doesn't appear in your inventory, I believe. But it says here, right next to my pants, 5 minutes. So if you go to a bonfire, you can say press the Y button to toggle. Rest that bonfire and light torch. And if you light the torch, the timer goes on. And now you have a torch for 5 minutes. And this is our first area. As you can see, there is a little bit of lit there, and you can light all the lantern posts over here. There are little fog gates. That if you don't know them from Dark Souls 1, usually bosses or bigger areas are hidden behind fog gates. And here you can see another little big cave troll over there. But we're gonna switch off our torch and we are going to complete all of the tutorial section, which this actually is. It's a tutorial. You can read these signs, and then it says RB, so right bumper to attack, which are these attacks. And then you can press the right stick to lock onto a target, so that you can strafe around him or dodge roll. So if he hits, then you can sprint behind him and backstab him. And the backstab is a particular thing of the Dark Souls series. It's a critical attack, and you can hold B to run around. And I press Y because I don't have a shield, so I can two-hand my weapon. If you two-hand your weapon, you do more damage. So there are little lanterns here, which you can light. It doesn't give you anything, but if you really want to do it, you can. So here is the tutorial for the backstabs. Behind enemy's back for a critical hit, so you can sneak behind him, and then it initiates that little animation and you kill him instantly. Notice how the enemies here are wearing the clothes that you were wearing at the start of the game, which we still have in our inventory, which are these imported tunics, these things. And they are wearing it too, so it's, in my opinion, it's applied that these guys were just like you coming here, but they kind of failed and gone hollow. And that's why they are here still. As you can see here, we can switch with our directional pad to the right for a knife. And maybe if you didn't pick a weapon. And the knife is does less damage, but is way faster. And there's one peculiar thing about the knife that I'll see if I can show it. That the knife does double backstab damage. It does 303 when you stab a guy, and then when you pull back the knife, it does another additional damage. So it's a really good starting weapon for critical attacks. Just pressing B without a directional does a backstep. Sorry. So here we can leap forward, pressing the analog stick left forward / right trigger. Then you do a jump attack. And you can see the arrows, and if you can watch the enemy's movement, like shoot a guy, shoot, and then you can dodge or run to the left and then just attack him. But be fast, because he does switch to a broken sword. And here we have another life gem, if you so need it, if you are damaged by the fight. And here is, you can move the camera over here, you can drop down here. Yes, over there. But first, do this and activate a shortcut. And they are not talking this time. Usually there are crows here, but they aren't here now. Let's see, normally there is a voice here, but I want to leave this item. Wait. Leave. Why doesn't he do it? Did they change this? Let's see. Oh, there he is. Even though you can't see them, they are here. So I'll try again, because they are looking for smooth and silky, and this is a small so leave. But why doesn't he do it? Confirm. Oh, you have to press Y now to proceed. Alright, so we can leave that. And then leave this. Yes. So we left 2 items here. And as you can see, we got a cracked blue eye orb and an old whip, which is kind of interesting. If you find other smooth stones, they come in various sizes. They can drop items for you, or even bigger items or healing things. But they dropped a whip now, a leather whip that has seen plenty of use. It appears no different than an ordinary whip, but is charmed by an ancient blessing that boosts damage inflicted on hollows. The blessing is likely to work off a cleric, but whether the spell is good or evil is unclear. So it does better damage against hollows, but as you can see in the bottom left, there's a little number there, 7 and 20. You need 20 dexterity to use it, so it's way too high for me now. And as I said here, you see a lantern here, and if we move a little bit slightly, we can pick up a soul of a nameless soldier and then jump down here. And a soul of a nameless soldier is a consumable item too. This one. And if you use this one, you get 800 souls. So, this entrance led us all the way up there. And then we drop down, we kick down the ladder, so if we want to go back up to the crows and trade in another stone, we can do that. And we picked up another item, this one. An online play item, Invade the World of the Guilty, can only be used by members of the Blue Sentinels Covenant. Punish the guilty to strengthen bond with your covenant. There is a covenant that hunts invaders, and if you join them, you can use this item to invade another player's invader. That's about it. So here we have more of the tutorial. Press Y to wield a weapon two-handed, which I was already doing. So yeah, that was a right trigger is a heavy attack, which does way more damage. I'm not gonna pick up that item, which is just a herb, and an herb replenishes magic uses. But I don't want to die. I always screw up the jump. So I'm just going to go up here. So if you want to get a herb, you're welcome to do it. While falling, you can press right bumper to do a plunging attack. This is a guard break attack, so it's, if someone or an enemy is using a shield, you can do this move to slash away his shield. But as the tutorial stated, you can fall and then press the right bumper and you do a heavy damage plunging attack. And now my stamina run out. You have to control your stamina always in these in the Dark Souls games, which is the green bar in the top left beneath my life bar. Because if I attack or run, it consumes a little bit of stamina. We picked up another item, which is this one. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire a token of spite. The residual sins of those who have succumbed to the dark temptation are contained in the form of the correct red eye orb. So it's another invasion item. And just for the tutorial's sake, I have lost a little bit of health. I use a life gem, and you can see it gradually fills up my life bar again. So we go through another fog gate. And then we head up here. As you can see, that area is blocked now by a stone statue, which is new to the Scholar of the First Sin. And there's a guy there. They are called a basilisk. That guy with his big eyes and their spooky animation. They can turn you to stone or curse you. So we can go down here again. So normally you can go there, but you have to use an you have to get an item first, which we can't get now. So the only thing left to do is venture on. So here we go. Usually around here messages are starting to appear. Yes, they are. Hooray for messages. These are messages you can leave behind. Let's see if I have that item, which I don't have now, I believe. But you can get an item with a right crystal, and then you can leave messages behind for other players. So these are messages by other players, and if you are connected online, you can do that. And this is our first steps in the real world of Dark Souls 2, called Majula, which is a pretty gorgeous view, if you ask me. So we are going to pick up some items early on, which will be quite useful. There's an item here, which is the Divine Blessing. A holy water endowed with the Divine Blessing cures status effects and fully restores HP. Water blessed by the ancient goddess. Her name is long forgotten, and the Magic Academy of Melfia denies even her existence. In any age, there are those who refuse to see reason. It is their meddling that distorts the truth. So there was a little magic school, but they are defying that she even existed. If you walk very carefully here, you can drop down. And then drop down here. And pick up a Morning Star and a Cleric's Sacred Chime, which I will read in just a little minute. Pick up the binoculars. Just stick to the wall and you won't fall. Go down here. And here we are. And this is our hub area. We will see quite a lot of this area. So let's first light the bonfire, then rest to fill up our HP and our weapons. We picked up a couple of weapons now. So this is a Morning Star, the club fitted with a spiked head. The spikes of this blunt weapon cause bleeding, normally wielded by clerics but clearly intended to draw blood. Then we have another tab here for magic items. Most clerics receive this as their first sacred chime, a catalyst for miracles and hexes. To use miracles, equip a sacred chime and attune a miracle at a bonfire. The strength of the most miracles is affected by the caster's faith. So this is an item you can equip in your right or left hand, like this. I can't use it But as you can see, you can punch with it, but I don't have any magic, so I can't use it now. But later, I will. So this is a weapon which has a high enough stat, which I can show here, I believe. Oh, wait. Here. And it requires 15 strength, which you can see at the bottom left. But my character only has 11 strength. But if I two-hand it, I can use it. So now I can use this club. Because two-handing a weapon boosts your strength with another 50%. So if you have 10 strength and you two-hand, you have 15, I believe. But let's first get down to the real business before we start exploring again.
Are you the next monarch? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bearer of the curse, I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey. Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
So here you go. This is a little bit of a story and a hint which what you are supposed to do. But let's first equip our Estus Flask. So don't forget to talk to this lady. Let's pick our life gems as a second item. And now we have one Estus Flask. Like she said, go look for the king. Are you the next monarch? Are you the next hero or liberator? Or are you just a pawn? Are you just being used? And are you just one of the few who will fail? Actually, that's kind of what she's saying.
Bearer of the curse, seek misery. For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid.
And she is saying, look, you are not strong yet. Find more souls and level up. And then you will succeed. And there are a couple of NPCs here. Hello.
You're undead, aren't you? You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal. And in Drangleic these days, there are very few places like that. I am Solden. And like you, I lost everything. And now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody. Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth.
Hello guys, Joke here. Welcome back to Dark Souls 2. A little bit of an abrupt ending of my first episode. I was around 40 minutes and then my capture and my audio crashed for some reason. But it was luckily not in a very important part.
There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now, like I have.
I accidentally pressed the button. But we were just talking to this guy, and he's a jolly little fellow, isn't he? So there are 4 large souls, which is very reminiscent of the first Dark Souls, which you had to acquire 4 Lord Souls too. But let's see what he has to say even more.
Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn. If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
So here is our first covenant, which we are just gonna join just for the hell of it. If you want to get this trophy or achievement, you can go and do it here.
That is a wise decision. People are weak, but the Blue Sentinels watch over us in their benevolence. Let the Sentinels cradle you in their embrace.
Alright. So this guy kind of gave up. He is also here drawn by the curse of the undead. Let's just equip the ring just for the hell of it. Maybe if I get invaded, you will see its effect, but I don't know for sure if that will happen. Let's finish up our ways in Majula. Another life gem, another soul of a nameless soldier, which we are going to use. But first, let's talk to this little green guy.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just help me open this door. I packed my tools in here, seeing it was vacant. But now somebody's gone and locked the door. I'm a blacksmith. I'm nothing without my tools. Bring me that key. Chop chop.
There is a window there, dude. What about? We will get his items for him. Excuse me. So let's see, there are a couple items still. We can pick up a life gem here. And there's a small little path to the right here, which leads to our second covenant of the game. Which is one you maybe don't want to join. We get a couple of homeward bones, which was a starting gift, if you guys remember. And those are these. They will teleport you back to the last bonfire you rested at. Bonfires burn on the bones of the undead, and this bone belonging to one whose journey was cut short has the power to travel to bonfires, as it yearns to resume its futile quest. If you rest at this stone, you can enter a covenant, which is the Covenant of Champions, which makes the game even harder. And for the sake of being able to finish the playthrough, I will not do it. But if you want an additional challenge, then you can do that, of course. There's a little house there, which we will enter, but let's first do this. Hello. Which yields us an Estus Flask shard, which is this lovely thing here. The shard of an Estus Flask. Shards are deeply soaked in Estus. Graft the shard to an Estus Flask to increase flask uses. Over the ages, countless souls rested their bones as they drank from the original flask. Now the shards remain, serving as the vestige of their hopes and dreams. Basically, this you can turn this in at the Emerald Herald, we will do in a little bit, and you get an additional Estus Flask, which is always good. And there is one more thing in this house, which is this thing.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
So yeah, this is a talking cat, of course, which is you can abandon your covenants with her, and you can buy a few items from her. You can get a couple of rings, and the evil eye absorbs a little bit of HP when you kill a foe. This is quite handy later. It's a ring that reduces damage from falling. Easier to detect by enemies, which is still in debate if that really works. And this is a quite handy ring if you want to co-op with your friends. And this is a ring which we will buy later because it's quest related. And she has a couple of items. She sells homeward bones, prism stones. Prism stones you can buy here, of course, if you want to, and you can exchange them with the crows. Only this level of stones won't yield you very useful items. Alluring skulls are items you can throw on the ground, and enemies will attack the spot where you threw them for a while. And these are Lloyd Talisman, which are, well, really for PvP. You can throw this at enemies, and if you hit them, they are not able to heal for a little bit.
I'll be around if you ever come.
And we will come back later to check on more dialogue from her. We have one more house to go for now. No, let's first go up this little stairs. Because there is a big little chest here. A big little chest, yes. It has one of the most valuable items in the game. And it's under... Where was it under? Wait, it's been a while. Alright, here, upgrade stones. Titanite shard. Titanite shard uses to reinforce equipment. Reinforce equipment up to +3. Titanite was discovered in an ancient layer of earth and is said to be the gift of the gods. Titanite of this size has very little power, but it's still a rare find. This item at the blacksmith enables you to upgrade your weapons, which is of course very useful. And as you can see here, he has a little shop.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
And you can buy items here. So if you want to buy a shield, you can buy one here. And this is a large shield, this is a normal shield, and this is a small shield. They are pretty good. If you really want one, you can buy one here. And this is the set we are wearing, the Falconer set. And we can buy a couple of more sets here, which we will not do at this moment. And it does have a little bit more information.
I came from the west, from Volgan. Have you been there? It's a lively place, vibrant with trade. Very competitive, of course. And you have to grease the wheels to get anywhere. But I didn't have the funding for that, so I left home in hopes of striking gold. It's been years since then, and I've made very little headway. I don't even know why I'm still here. Everything's all run down and dying. It's terrible for business, really. A group calling themselves the Blue Sentinels have gained much power in Volgan. You can't even run a shop without their blessing. They claim to be working for the greater good, but it's absolute hogwash. Oh, by the gods, why the hell am I here?
And that's what the ladies were talking about. This guy's already forgetting why he's here. He's kind of going hollow already. And he was talking about the Blue Sentinels, which that guy is referring to. And in his land in Volgan, they are kind of controlling all the shops and all those things. Let's first finish up our conversation with her.
Seek those whose names are unutterable, the four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me. so that hope will not fade away. Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
And after all that talking, you can finally upgrade. So this is the Estus Flask shard. So now we have 2. And here we can level up, which we are gonna do, of course. And here you can select your points. Right above where I'm selecting now, you can see how much an upgrade will cost. It will cost me 948 souls, and it will push me from level 13 to 14. And let's do with 1 point of strength and 1 point of dexterity, just for variety's sake. Thank you. Alright. Let's not dilly-dally around anymore here. We can do 2 things. We can go up there for a little bit, or we can go up there, but we will continue in the, well, the supposed route. I think you don't really have a route to go. You can always go wherever you please, but this is the most common route people will take. So we pick up another rusted coin, which boosts your... Oh, god damn it.